What is up, you guys? I can't believe this is working, and I'm not sure how long it's going to work, but we're going to have a little good morning drive because I'm sitting here in a traffic jam, and I know it's super early for you guys, and I appreciate you guys for signing on. So we're going to let a few people get up in the room, and I'll let you guys know what's next. We have just finished, I don't know why I'm saying we as if there's more than one person, but I have just finished two more videos. One, the members have already got. Two, the members will probably get the other one either today or tomorrow, and the rest of you guys are gonna have to wait a little bit on that. But real quickly, I just want to talk about the membership. I've been saying it was $5.99 a month. It's actually only $4.99 a month, and with that, you're gonna get content that releases early to you, and you're going to get exclusive content that other people don't get. And then soon we're going to do member only lives. All right. And you guys know what's up with the lives. You guys know that I've been doing all that full walkthrough, no steps skipped, every single thing talked about, and any question you have answered. So that's the level that we're going to. And you know, I'm reading a book that's kind of causing me to sort of question some of my belief systems. It's called Your Next 5 Moves. And it's by Patrick from Valuetainment. And anyhow, he's got a couple of things that he's saying in the book that really has me kind of asking some questions about myself. Like just asking myself what it is that I actually want to get out of this. Where do I want to take this? And going down that road of thinking, am I doing the things that are going to lead me to where I want? All right, it's all good that we got 125,000 subscribers, but the reality is, this is not good enough. It was fun to get there, but this is not the place that I want to be at yet. I want to get a lot further, and that's why I'm really gonna grind until I hit that 1 million subscribers, which means that I need to do some things differently. And I have to play the game. So what I mean by that, everybody who does YouTube, a lot of people would probably like to do other things on YouTube. A lot of people would probably like to talk about other things on YouTube, but we just can't. All right. The algorithm will just murder you. If you try to provide too much value, you're done. You can't. You got to provide question marks. You got to title things really weird. You got to write things that don't make sense so that you can get people to click on them and make thumbnails that are goofy. I don't have to do any of that for the members. I could just release it to you guys exactly how it is. And you can't believe the amount of peace and clarity that sort of brings me. So we're going to continue working and dropping on those. And then I'll continue working and dropping on the public versions. But the public versions are going to be so much more cut out. And I don't want to cut these things out, but it just has to be that way. So I have to play the game a little bit better than I have been playing it. And I plan to bring you guys the best possible content I can. And possibly we'll start to open up on some of the business stuff as well. Hi, Andrada, thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. So what's going on with everybody? Everybody's out here grinding on this beautiful Friday morning. I suspect that my connection is probably lagging pretty bad because a lot of people just fell out of the room. So I want to give you guys a little bit of encouragement. So I began this career in Niagara Falls, New York. There wasn't a single business person around me. There really wasn't anybody that I could go to and ask that had started businesses or thought like an entrepreneur. My dad still is a worker. He was a worker. My dad still is a worker. My grandparents, they were the biggest influences in my life. They were workers. They didn't own their own businesses either. So one of the ways that I eventually arrived to this, I barely passed high school. Other than the hair thing, I did pretty good at that. But I'm just saying, one of the ways that I arrived to this was through keeping an open mind, continuing to be curious, and continuing to read some books that would point me in the right direction. So once I read enough of these books, I specifically remember it. I was at this factory, and I actually wasn't allowed to listen to books. I like listening to books. I wasn't allowed to listen to books there because they had some bullshit rule, even though the job was so stupid that you could literally train an animal to do it. I had to not wear headphones, but we could wear earplugs. So I found earplugs that looked like headphones. Headphones that looked like earplugs, rather. And then I began listening. And when you do that for 40 hours a week, you go through a lot of books. I was going through like sometimes as many as 8 books in a month, sometimes even more. And every book was really resonating with me in the way where I knew that I needed to get out of here. I had to put a plan in place. So I said to myself that I'm going to grind. I'm going to put this plan in place. And I had literally written it out, like word for word, what I would do, how I would get back what I lost. Because when I went to the factory, I had been cutting hair for a lot of years before that, and I had a pretty good clientele. Not as good as it is today, not as good as it would become, but good enough to make a very good living off of. And when I was working at the factory, I'd make $620 every other week. I would work a Saturday at the barber shop, which I continued to do, and I would make sometimes between $700 and $800 a day. I would say to myself, how am I stuck here? How am I going on like this? And then the books would continue to reassure me that I needed to get out of there, that I needed to become my own boss. And even if that meant working for somebody else in a barbershop, there was still an entrepreneurial aspect to that. There was still a self-reliance about that, because if I know I can rely on myself after all this hardship, I know I won't fail. I know that I will do the things that I need to do to make sure that I don't fail. And there wasn't even a question. There wasn't even a question in my mind about, hey, would I succeed at this? Not a question. I knew that I would succeed at this because I had put a good plan in place. I'm sure the audio's gone. Somebody tell me. Every time I get a phone call, I should just turn off. I wish I could just turn off cellular. Okay, you guys got to tell me. Do I actually have audio? Because if I do, I'm going to keep talking. If not, I'm going to ride out. Yo, can you guys tell me if I got audio? Do I still got anybody in the room? We had a little mix up there, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's working. Somebody give me a comment. Is there audio? I'm gonna try to write. Okay, I guess I can't write. Okay, I got audio. Holy crap! I can't believe that. I got a phone call, and I'm able to keep going. All right. I'm sorry. So let me pick up on where I left off. Somebody just asked, how do I become a member? Chris, you can literally click the drop down in any one of my videos, and there's a tab to become a member right there. You click that. You pay $4.99 a month. You get access to exclusive content. All right. So let me go back to the factory for a second. I read this book. One of the books that really hit me the most was Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there was a statement in the book that really resonated with me. It was about climbing the ladder. So you're at a factory, and it's all about climbing the ladder. And at a certain point, there's a lot of cutthroat shit that goes on. The corporate world is not one I ever want to find myself in again. And it's just not a pleasant place to be. And it's very hard to set yourself apart. So there was a couple of words in the book that really hit me hard. And it was my poor dad. He insisted that I needed to get a good job and climb the ladder in a good company, retire with benefits, all this other stuff. And my rich dad could not fathom climbing somebody else's ladder. And then it just hit me. My work ethic at the factory went to crap. And eventually, thank God, I got fired because I didn't have the courage to leave on my own 2 feet. But I think eventually, another book or two, and I probably would have been out of there anyways. But there was a lot of forces that I'm not going to get into a lot of reasons why I felt justified in staying there. But the truth was, I knew it wasn't right for me. I knew it wasn't right for me right from the start. And I should have probably got out sooner, but I don't regret any of it, because I really feel like that period of working at that factory, that was the most miserable part of my life in many, many ways. And I think back on that, and I literally can feel the torment again, just thinking of driving there again, just thinking of getting out of the car, and I still think about that shit. You know why I think about that? Because that's the reality of failure. That's where the fuck I'm gonna end up if I fail. And I will fucking die before I let that happen again. There's no way. So I use those experiences, I use that growing up poor, I use all those things to kind of fuel myself to say, you know what? This is the reality. This is the reality. You will fail, and you'll wind up back on that same assembly line again if you fail. If you choose to skip work, if you choose to show up late, if you choose to leave early, if you choose not to post, if you choose to do all the things you know you shouldn't, you choose to go out drinking, you choose to spend money, you choose not to invest, you choose not to expand in your mind, there is so many ways. Yeah, that's what I said, Chris. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. He said, after 9 years in technology and fixing computers, I'm starting barber school. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I appreciate you guys for hanging in there and for letting me get this off my chest. But man, it is just one of them things that I am just so passionate about. I have freed myself from the rat race to some extent. YouTube has created a future, but one of the things that I talked about, like, to myself when I was in the factory, one of the things I wrote out is I was gonna grind. I was gonna grind, and at the time I had 3,000 subscribers. I was gonna, even though I haven't posted in 3 years, I think this really did some damage to my channel, by the way. I don't think I've ever really recovered. If I was smart, I would have started over fresh. But I figured 3,000 subscribers was a good starting point. So I started grinding, and I told myself I was going to get to 100,000 subscribers. I wrote out all kind of video topics that I was going to cover and ways that I was going to help people. And I wrote out a plan to pay for people's barber tuitions who are in need. I wrote out everything that I could think to write out and tried to make this channel the biggest success that I could make it. I haven't succeeded in a lot of the things that I wrote out, but I'm still working towards them. And that's the whole thing. Marv had a live yesterday, and it wasn't a live, like, he just posted a clip, but he just said, are your actions matching your words? And I guess that's kind of what I'm kind of getting at, is in some respects my actions have matched my words. But if I dive deep into myself, like what I'm learning in this book, The Next 5 Moves, like conducting a personal audit about what you actually want in life, about where you actually want to take these things, then putting that plan in place, then working that plan. So that's really the brass tacks here. Is I'm actually realizing that some of the things I believed about myself are not true. All right. And I need to do more, and I can do more, and I have a willingness to do more, and I will. But that's why it's so good to remain open and just don't think that you got it figured out. Because even when I'm sitting here, 500,000 subscribers, even when my videos do better than they do, even when there's more opportunities and abundance around, like, I'm not gonna rest. I'm not going away. I don't care. I mean, it was almost like a little anticlimactic to hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. For a long time, it was like this boon in my mind. But then you get there, and all the work you had to do to get there, you just think like, damn, that's all this is? It's just a plaque. And you hear rich people talking about that type of stuff. Like, money will not make you happiness. Reaching some arbitrary number will not make you happy. These things will not by themselves bring you happiness. And that's what the book is kind of about. It's asking yourself what it is that you actually want out of life. Do you want to be able to spend time with your kids? Do you want to be able to pursue other things? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be working around the clock and beat on your chest till you're a billionaire? You know, these are the things that I need to ask myself. And, you know, I'm somewhere in the middle. And I don't know where it is for you, but at the end of the day, Marvy Marv had a great point when he said, are your actions matching your words? Because I'll tell you what, if I stop pretty much anybody, I bet you if I yell over to this guy who's riding in his car beside me, hey man, you a hard worker? Are you a grinder? Yeah, man, I grind. I'm not weak. I work. They're going to say that. Every barber you talk to thinks that they're the biggest hustler you've ever met. And some of them are. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are. I've met hustlers in this business. People that worked me under the table. I'm talking about people that show up at like 8 a.m. and they go home at 8 or 9 p.m. And they do this shit for years. And they stack bread. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But everybody's grind is a little bit different. And everybody thinks that they're such a grinder that they couldn't possibly open their mind to the fact and do a little bit of introspection and just say, hey, am I really doing all the things I think I'm doing right? Is this the most sensible way to grind? Is there another way? Is there something that would make me happier? Some people don't question it. And I might have fell into that category a few times, and I plan on continuing with this book. I'm probably gonna read it 2 or 3 times because it's that good, and then I'm gonna write myself out a little bit of a plan. I'm really enjoying that aspect of it, because it's sort of like if you think about it from this perspective, you can't allow your destiny to be controlled by external factors, and I've talked about that before. And I was just watching Kevin Gates, and he was, it was like that interview the other day where, they were saying, like, they were asking him about stuff about how if he felt like white people held him back in his life and all this type of shit, right? And he was like, fuck no, don't no white man control my destiny. And that's the truth right there. It's just a different type of truth. But the truth is, you cannot allow external factors or other people or situations to control your successes in life. Which means that there's really only one way to look, and that's into the mirror, and that's at yourself. You're the one who has to live with yourself. You're the one who has to hold yourself accountable at the end of the day. All right. The name of this book is Your Next 5 Moves. And then another book that we talked about was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I've probably read, when I was at that factory, I don't even know how many, but most of them were business books. Once in a while, I would break up the monotony. But then again, I think I'm enjoying this book so much that I'm going to stick in the business book world I'm going to keep one in rotation. Because I've been listening to too many novels, man. I've been getting sentimental. I've been listening to too many novels. So, anyhow, those were the two books that we talked about. Those are the things that are sort of shaping the way I'm thinking, probably shaping and going to impact my next few videos and my next few thoughts. But it's kind of like I'm trying to think in terms of how I can help the most amount of people, what I could do to bring the biggest impact to this industry that I love, that I feel like it saved me, because really I do. I really do feel like barbering probably saved me. It was actually cosmetology, to be honest. And that's the thing too. It's like, even when I was a cosmetologist, I would go around and tell people I was a barber, even though I wasn't, because I was embarrassed by it. And you know who was embarrassed? It was just me being embarrassed at myself. I don't give a shit, really. I mean, I don't care to tell people exactly how it is. I don't really feel the need to lie anymore. And it's kind of like, it was cosmetology school was the only option, and it got me out of school for half of the day. But I had always had an interest in hair because my grandmother, my great-grandmother actually, who I grew up with in her house, she did hair. I had uncles that were barbers, and hair was just something that was always going on at my house. There was a salon down in the basement. I could mess around and try to cut my friend's hair. And when the option to go to cosmetology school came up, I said, why not? Why not? Let's go. And I really feel like that small, seemingly insignificant decision that I made when I was going into 11th grade, mind you, I was in 10th grade. When you make the decision to go to a VOTEC or a vocational school, through high school, you have to make that decision in 10th grade. You can't go to 11th grade and say, hey, I thought about it, and yeah, I do want to do auto body. Like, nah, you're not going to be able to. You got to have that in you. You have to be willing to commit to that at that age. So how could I have known what that one little seemingly insignificant difference would have made? But I'll tell you some of the things that I think could have happened to me if not for that. My father's a carpenter. He's been in the union. Almost everybody who lives in Buffalo or Niagara Falls tries to find a way into the union because there's really very little opportunity in Niagara Falls. There's not very many places you can make money. So if I had to guess, I probably would have wound up in the union. I probably would have wound up as a carpenter, and I probably would have been out there at 5 in the morning in, negative 5-degree weather, busting my knuckles and working for somebody else. Because no matter what, if you're getting paid working for somebody else, at the end of the day, it's all sweat equity. There's no passive income to it, and there's just no real way for you to create that life of comfort. And you're not putting things in place to get you to that life of comfort. Now, it'd be different if I went to it with the mentality of, say, I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to learn this trade, and I'm going to use it to move to Florida and become a builder here. That might have been an option. So I guess what I'm trying to say by that is, whatever it is that you want to do, if it ain't barbering, if it ain't something related to what I talk about a lot, it wouldn't hurt you to go work in that field and learn that field, even if it means taking a pay cut. Let's say you got a great job. Let's say it's paying you 6 figures, whatever, and you want to open, I don't know, storage units. So you really have a little bit of money set aside to open the storage units, but the problem is you've never worked in the storage business before. You've never even rented a unit, but you want to own it. So would it make sense for you to go and try to own it? When you file your business plan, when you try to get a loan, when you do all the things you need to do to get that up off the ground, you don't have no experience. So you go from making 6 figures down to making damn near minimum wage, and you go and you work there. And you consider this your little degree. You learn about the problems that arise. You learn about the ins and the outs of that business. You ask the questions and you peel back the layers of the onion until you have everything from top to bottom really figured out. That little pay cut that you took, it might lead to a big pay jump when you finally get yours off the ground. That's all I'm saying. So we're pulling up on work, y'all. I got to run up into Sam's Club real quick before I get here. Thankfully, I got here an hour early, and I don't even know how I did that because we've been sitting in this traffic jam. As long as this live's been going, we've been sitting in a traffic jam. Very, very little ins and outs. And I got a new watch, y'all. This watch is really sick, man. I'm probably gonna talk about this in another video, but man, this watch, something else. I can't believe the way technology is going. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this live. I hope that you guys give a chance to the membership, $4.99 a month, exclusive content, soon to be exclusive lives. And for my members, I just want to let you guys know that I do have a video ready for you to go. I just got to finish the thumbnail, which I hope to do either today or tomorrow. If I get that done today or tomorrow. My thumbnail maker, Rusty Blades, he's in Spain right now. So I might have to try to craft this thumbnail on my own, and I'm not looking forward to that. So he said, I really look forward to these lives, and I'm about to sign up for class today. Let's go. That's what's up, Wavy Cuts. I know you've been grinding for a while. I know you've been watching the content for a while, and thank you, Robert. I appreciate you, man. I see he got the Gators right there. So thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Oh, Rusty is in the house. You in Spain? Are you able to? I didn't know if he was going to have internet or not, but he said, hey, if you need a thumbnail, I'm here for you, bro. That's great. Oh, hold up. Some girl's singing right beside me. I got to get her on. I got to get her. Look at this girl. She's listening to the, I better be careful. I'm going to get demonetized. Y'all see it? from España. Nah, that's awesome, man. Yo, Wavy Cuts, I just want to say, dude, I wish you luck. I hope that you follow through with the things that you want to do. And at the end of the day, there might be forces in your life that the forces in your life might be people in your life who say, why would you want to do that? You know, do something else. There might be the haters and doubters inside of your circle and stuff like that. But if you stay the course, you're going to wind up at barber school, and then will happen too. You will hit a slump. Everybody does it. Everybody starts off with like a lot of piss and vinegar, and then when they get about like 3 or 4 months in and they see what it's really about, some of that energy starts to wane, and then they start to dip. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to push through. And I'm going to tell you guys, and anybody else listening here, the school don't mean shit. I'm going to tell you right now, don't go to school and expect that the instruction is going to be good or that the school is going to be run right or any of that. This really boils down to the premise of this entire life is it's up to you to learn, and it's up to you to do the things that you need to do to learn how to do this. And the school, I promise you, probably 80% of the time is not going to have an instructor that facilitates that. I promise you, you will be upset with the way the curriculum is taught. You'll be upset with a lot of things when it comes to school. But don't let all that shit get in your way, all right? Don't let all that shit get in your way. It's up to you. It's up to you to get the shit done, all right? If so-and-so instructor Joe don't want to teach, fuck him. Learn on your own. Ask questions to somebody else. Go to a barbershop. Apprentice with them a little bit. Even if it don't make you any money. It goes back to what we're talking about. You know, I got a guy who's been coming in on Saturdays just to sweep and just to learn. There's nothing wrong with that. He doesn't get paid. He shows up and he does it anyways, because he actually wants to do this for a living. So all I'm saying is, don't let these schools, and I'm going to talk about the student trap probably in a future video. I was thinking about this last night. There's sort of like a little bit of a trap that schools try to use. But I'll warn you guys about that. But really, the reality is, get into a school that you can afford, and do not get involved if you don't see it through to the end. I'm telling you right now, do not get involved. If you don't think that you're going to make it to the end, just don't even sign up. Seriously. But if you are involved, you need to take no prisoners. I need you to draw on every ounce of whatever it was that brought you there. I need you to draw on that. Everything that's ever pissed you off in your whole life, I want that to be your fuel. That's the reason why I get up in the morning to do this shit. Prove yourself wrong and finish school. All right? Think about all them things that irritate you. And when you hit that slump, say, you know what? I don't want to be here, but I'm fucking here anyways. I don't want to do this, but I know it's going to help my future, so I'm going to do it anyways. All right? Listen, y'all, this is the YouTube Barber Academy. I got to go run an errand real quick. So I'm going to talk to you guys later. I do appreciate you guys for hanging out with me on this live, and I hope that you enjoyed my content. And I will catch you guys soon. I'm going to come live again. I don't know if we're going to go live and do a cut or not today, but we'll find out. What up, Danny Sanchez? Thank you for being a member, man. I really appreciate that. So we are going to let you, I'm going to let you guys go. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm out of here. Peace.